Hey, how's everybody doing? Welcome back to Ask That Podcast on YouTube. What we got here is Harbinger Children of the Eighth Day trade from sometime in the 90s. This is still sealed. This is a my comic shop acquisition. I paid way less than cover price. What it is that I read a little bit of Valiant back in the day. I read XO Man of War, I read Turok. I read the first couple issues of Ninjak. I enjoyed what I read, but there wasn't a lot of trades, and the back issues were just like prohibitively priced way too high for me. I was not going to pay $100 for a damn comic, so I just kind of didn't read after. After I fell out of reading XO and Turok and Ninja, I didn't read any more Valiant. Actually, to be honest, I forgot about Valiant. Then in the late 90s, I discovered this forum called those Valiant Fans. I think it was the name of then. It still is. Or maybe it was early 2000s. It's like 2004. And I discovered that there's fans of this Valiant stuff. I'm like, all right, I'm going to start picking up some of it here and there. And I always liked how Valiant, if you help promote them, they helped you out. Like I have a cousin, who I mentioned on here before, my cousin John. He worked at a hotel. So what he would do is he'd put a little sign in the window and take a picture, buy Valiant comics. And send it in, they had a gold logo. Like the gold logo version of Harbinger, like the logo would be gold. And these are retailer incentives. They're fairly rare. I mean, they didn't print up a huge amount of them. And they went for piles of money. Well, I never had any of them. Skip ahead, 2008. My dad's youngest sister, my Aunt Nancy, she's dying from cancer. I just started a new job. I was doing home health care for an elderly gentleman in town. Fairly rich guy, anyway. Perfect example, the chair I did home health care, which basically meant I sat in there at night from 8 o'clock at night till 7 in the morning. Keep an eye on it, making sure, he was anything he needed, because he had both knees and both hips replaced. He couldn't walk real good, he's kind of heavy set. Just, kind of a gopher for him. And they wanted two things. They wanted a male, because they wanted somebody big and strong to pick this guy. This guy was not light, he was probably 250 and he was very short. And his legs didn't work real good, so he couldn't help you that much when you lifted him. Number two, he wanted somebody that would stay up all night. Because they'd already had a couple people that sit, and they'd go to sleep at 10 o'clock. He'd wake up at 1 and have to wake them up to go to the bathroom. I'll stay up all night. Well, I told him I got hired. I was like, look, I'm my dad's youngest sister. I'm really close with my Aunt Nancy. Has passed away from cancer. It's going to happen any time now. I started early July, like a few days before my birthday. So when it happens, she's in Biloxi area. I'm going to be gone for 2 or 3 days. So I'm just letting y'all know in advance, when this happens, it could be like tomorrow. I'm about to go down the coast for a couple of days, but as soon as I come back, I'll be ready to go back to work. They had no issue with that. Well, like, the second night I worked, I get home in the morning, Mom says, your Aunt Nancy died last night. So I'll call up my work, tell them, hey, I'm going to be gone for a couple of days. And the way it worked out, I had 3 days a week off of work for. Well, I was going to be gone for 3 days. One of those days, I was going to be gone was one of my days off. It was on like a Saturday. I'll go down, and my Aunt Nancy had a pile of nephews. Her sisters and her brother's boys, and wanted us to be pallbearers. Not a problem. Don't mind doing it. I shaved and trimmed up my facial. Y'all see me, I got crazy wild facial hair. Got a good haircut, had on a button-down shirt and some slacks, and dress shoes. I get to the funeral services early. My cousin John, who you ever watch anytime I mentioned Texas Chainsaw Massacre and tell me how I went and saw that in a drive-in when I was 3 years old. My dad, my cousin, who's about 10 years older than me, that was my cousin John. And dad's side of the family, the cousins, I always feel like there's 2 batches of us. There's the older batch where John's the youngest of them, and he's 10 years older. He's 10 years older than me. Then there's the younger ones, which is me, my cousin Joey, my cousin Charles. We're within 2 to 3 years of each other. We're the last of I'm the youngest grandkid. Well, I'm sitting up there, and John's like, yeah, I heard you got a new job. I started telling him, I was like, yeah, but the bad thing about it is, the old man falls asleep with the remote in his hand, so I can't watch TV. So I'm reading books, but I'd like some commentary. He's like, hey, look. Because, back in the night when the boom was happening, he didn't say it this way because he speculated. He bought a lot of comics. He goes, I have like 2 or 3 long boxes and a short box. I don't want them. You can have them. Right down to John, I'll pay for them. No, you can have them. He gave me 2 long boxes. One of them was full of nothing but Valiant. No duplicates either. And there was like some gold logos, a pile of Valiant, like a good big run. And I already had, since I moved here, picked up a few Valiant things here and there. So I was like, fuck it, I'm going to collect the full read and run of Valiant. And that's where I get back to this. I have the XO Man of War trade. That's like the first, it's like issues 1 through 4. I have the Shadow Man trade. This is one of the trades I was missing. I just never find it anywhere, and I wanted to get it with Harbinger issue 0. The only way back in the day to get Harbinger issue 0 is buy this trade. So, man, if you'd already bought the issues in this, you had to buy it again for this trade. So, I got this, and I am right now. I would have to look. Actually, I'd have to message somebody and have them check my list because I lost my original list. My computer went down, but they have a copy of it. I'm probably 75 to 80% of the way to a full reading set of Valiant. And by that, I mean, I don't care about variants. I don't the gold logo on it. I don't care about any of that. I just want I can read the entire thing. And that, by Valiant, I mean the original Valiant, and then when Acclaim took them over, it was Valiant Mark II. So let's start here. We're going to start with this. This is Harbinger issue 0 from '92. This is they did a lot. Dave Lapham, who you hear a lot about, he's Stray Bullets. This is where he got his start. Was with Valiant. And their art was not flashy. And to a kid, I can understand the flashy art's what catches your eye. By the time this stuff's come 92, you know, I was 17, 18. I was caring a little bit more about how stuff read than art because I was reading like Sandman. I was reading Doom Patrol, you know. So this is a very short, 16-page comic. Secret Weapons and Horror Course coming out next. And then we got this trade. And that, if I remember right, that is a cover to Harbinger number 1, just this Harbinger logo on it. And there's a second print around this trade. I don't know what the difference is. I know what the difference. I can't describe it exactly. This color, this white, is not white on it. Okay, let's see what we got here. This is from '92. Okay, Jim Shoo's the writer. Dave Lapham is the penciler. Inker is John Dixon. Colors Janet Jackson, Maria Bakari, and Nobro. Nobro was there, like everybody worked in their bullpen. Letters Jean Costanza, Anthony J. Avon, and Ken Lopez, editor Janet Jackson. It includes the first 4 issues of Harbinger. And here we go. Intro. On October 13th, 1992, I paid one of my usual visits to the Valiant headquarters in Manhattan. I sat down with the guys and discussed future projects of theirs as well as what plans we have cooking here at Wizards. Garrett Shameless. We chatted for a while, and when I was about ready to leave, I called to Steve Maraski's office. At first, I thought it was cool. He was going to give me a gold Eternal Warrior or something. Nope, Steve had a proposition. Garrett, I'd like you to write something for us. Perhaps an 18-chapter Star-Studded sequel to Unity? I wondered. How would you like to write the intro to our new upcoming Harbinger trade paperback? See, finished saying, it threw me for a little loop. I was incredibly flattered to admit that the idea intrigued me, but I was still a little hesitant at the time of this writing. Wizard 17, oddly enough, a Valiant Spotlight issue, was rapidly approaching its deadline. We just begun production on a new Wizard special, and I had about 100 other projects on the burner. I didn't know if I could handle the pressure of writing such a sought-after trade paperback. And he does. I had to start off. Are you different? Do strange things happen to you or around you? Do you feel abnormal? There's no need to be afraid. Our organization has helped many outstanding people like yourself. Non-profit, no religious affiliation. For information, right to the Harbinger Foundation. P.O. Box 1878, Richmond, Virginia. I wonder if that still exists. And so it starts. Sting and the rest of the Harbingers, they're fleeing from the Harbinger Foundation. This was basically Valiant's X-Men. Other thing this really reminds me of, because I don't know how many people out there know, Jim Shooter created the Valiant characters, besides Magnus, Turok, and Solar. Before this, what got him let go from Marvel is he created the universe that bombed. This reminds me a lot of DP7. Some people consider the universe like the prototype for Valiant. It really is. And they're kind of like mutants. This is Faith, her ability. She can fly. Look, she's a comic nerd. You got the Enterprise. You got a Flaming Carrot comic, you know. That's Flamingo, who's in love with Sting, who her powers are like fire powers. That's Torque, he's super strong. And then you find out later on, Torque is the father of Magnus. Because, is it Flamingo ends up pregnant? Somebody ends up pregnant with Torque's kid, and they have it, and it gets sent to the future and becomes Magnus. I like their coloring now. Back in the day, I hated Valiant's color. Like, oh, it looks bad to me. Now I'm like, oh my god, it looks so good. Taste change. It's just a neat little series. It's one of those where, even now, that first issue of Harbinger, even un-CGC, eyeball graded, a good copy is going to cost you, quite a bit of money. In fact, I'm going to leave this. Oh, shit. An ankle staples. So I'm going to put that there to mark my place. I'm going to keep on talking. I'm going to walk over to my trusty computer over here. I should be on my comic shop, and I am. And I'm going to look up and see how much Harbinger number 1 is now. I know a graded copy, like 9.0 or above, is like ridiculously stupidly priced, like high price, like $1,000 or more. Okay. Harbinger #1, there's 42 issues from Valiant, issue 0 through 41. They have 41 of those in stock. Okay, that copy I have is the white cover. That right there, if you get it, okay, the shape mine's in $3 or a little bit more. If I get it graded, a lot more. The one you got through the coupons, which has a pink cover, the cheapest copy they have is kind of beat up to $75. I want to see #1. #1, a very fine 8.0 eyeball is $90. A 9.8 is $950. A 6.0 CGC is $150. That's the coupon still in it. Ones without them, and 9.4 is $142. These early issues, like an issue 2 of Harbinger, which there's not a huge print run on it, is an $8 book. Let me see how much this trade is. So I bought this from them. Let's see what you asked for. They might not have copies. Short of the 8th day trade. Okay. Oh, $9.95. So it's actually. Oh, wait a minute. Yeah. Okay, mine's the Blackbird. They don't have mine anymore, do they? Okay, a copy of mine without the issue 0 in mint is $4. So, Harbinger. Keep on going through here. And it has come back. I know Harbinger has come back in the new Valiant. I'm not ready. There's supposed to be a movie. Faith was an interesting character. Zephyr, kind of the chubby, dirty fangirl who ended up leading the team, and I really loved the character. I like how they had it. Back then in comics, all the women were supermodel looking. Faith, kind of chubby. It looked like, this is going to sound bad. It looked like the kind of female you would see in a comic shop actually looking at comics. Back in the old joke, and this was horrible of us, and it just shows how times have changed. Back in the day, in the 80s, and all the way until about 94, if you were in a comic shop and say, very attractive female in the comic shop, the first thought to your mind is, okay, who in here's girlfriend, sister, mother, wife is this? Because you didn't think comic shops were guys' place. And part of that was comic shops were intimidating the women because you go in there and there'd be bikini posters on the wall and all this stuff that just scared off women. That's why my favorite comic shop of all time. It's not under same management, so I can't say it's as good as it was. It's called Lynn's Comics. It was out in Nederland, Texas. It was run by Jeff Bryant and his wife, Deborah. They kept it family friendly and welcoming everybody. And the best thing, part of it was because they were right across the street from elementary school. It was so family friendly that Jeff, quite a few times, had to tell me, okay, look, watch your mouth. Because I'm one of them, I have a foul mouth. And I don't realize it. So, and it was just the best comic shop ever. And he was one of the ones when I got back in like the late 90s when I was thinking about getting back into it. He's like, dude, if you want that shit, I got piles of it. He goes, I'm trying to get rid of it. I know you just wanted to read. I'll hook you up. And I should have done it then. Harbinger is one of the Valiant series I don't have a lot of. I got a lot of the later stuff. But like this early, first 12, 13 issues. After that, before the first 25 before Sting disappears. I don't have hardly any of those. All my Harbinger stuff is a lot later. So that's Harbinger. There's issue 0. Mine's in good shape. Yeah. I hope y'all enjoy that. If you did, give me a thumbs up. Leave a comment. What of the 90s new universe stuff, the stuff that was Marvel and DC, did you really enjoy and get into? And is there anyone you're trying to collect all of? Laters, everybody.